Salutations, fam. This is Dark Slayer Arim from How Tessia Gaming, and so it's gonna be a bit of a two-parter, I guess. So one of the things that I've been kind of wanting to do at like the beginning of the week is kind of like a quick meta analysis thing based on like how the last week of tournaments went for me, and like kind of talk about like what I've done. So it's kind of like a tournament report. But also just like I wanted to make a video talking about something that has kind of been brought up a lot in like discussions and like just in general, and it's like the ability to like, adaptive play basically. Like, what do you do if, your opponent plays hand traps or like you lose the die roll? So one of the things about like that I feel I should mention is that like I don't just like win every die roll and my opponent never has hand traps. Like, even if you watch like some of the like matches that I've uploaded, I almost always have to play through interruption. I and like the past like couple of weeks, I think I've literally lost every single die roll so far. And like, I've topped, I think, how many have I played? I think I played in 4 tournaments last week and I got tops in all of them. And actually so let me just pull up my my little thingamajigger. Actually, I have like a little Google Doc that I keep track of my tournaments with. So let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So yes, I entered 4 tournaments last week. On the 30th, I went undefeated playing Dragon Link. I played against IDS, Brave Phantom Knights, Eldritch, and Dragon Link. I believe I got... What did I get? I made top 4, but I can't remember the exact placement or whatever. But I made top 4 at that event. I made top 4 at all of these events. Let me see. Yeah, I made top 4 at all of these events. I got first place at the Winamat. But yeah, basically I played against, let me see. Oh, Friday was the funniest one, right? Because on Friday I actually entered 2 tournaments at the same time. So there was a Dragonball Fighterz tournament at the card shop. And I haven't played in a Dragonball Fighterz tournament prior to this one in literally 3 years. So I haven't actually like played the game like at all. So I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll just kind of play, mess around, see what happens. Yeah, I got second place in that tournament. But the funny thing about it was that like the Dragon Ball tournament didn't finish before the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament started. So I was playing in both tournaments at the same time, and I actually ended up getting top 4 in both of them. I got second on the Dragon Ball tournament, and I got 4th in the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. And I only got 4th because I had to like drop one. Like, I had to give my opponent the win to go play Dragon Ball and go play, I think, like losers finals or something like that. I'm actually gonna link the VOD into the description so you can, watch, me play Dragon Ball if you wanna like see me play Dragon Ball Fighterz. But that was pretty funny. I highly recommend never doing that ever. My brain was just so absolutely fried. Like, I can't tell you, like, the next day when I was playing in tournament, like, I was, like, half falling asleep. But yeah, I played in 4 tournaments. I got 3 top 4s and 1 first place. I won the Winamat. I played pretty much Dragon Link exclusively last week. A bunch of different, like, variants and whatnot. The week before that, I played the Chaos Max OTK, Dragon Link, a pile deck. I just kind of played a bunch of different stuff, but it's just like the reason why I don't like upload deck profiles after every tournament is that like if I uploaded a deck profile every time I topped a tournament, I would be uploading like all the time, and I don't feel like doing that. And I don't really feel like it's necessary to like upload a deck profile if like oh, hold up. No. I don't feel like it's necessary to upload like a new deck profile if nothing significant has changed about the deck, you know? If I'm basically playing the exact same deck, I might as well just like, there's no need to upload a deck profile because, I can just like link you guys to the deck profile that's already on the channel. It's like usually the most that'll be changing is like the tech options I'll be playing, right? Like it'll be like the hand trap lineup might be slightly different. Like maybe I'm playing 3 Veiler instead of 2, or like 2 Veiler instead of 1, or something like that. It'll be something like minor like that. Or like maybe my side deck's a little bit differently based on like what's at the event and things like that. Um, but yeah, I played a lot. I played a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh this past couple of weeks. I've been entering 4 tournaments a week. I've gotten top 4 at pretty much all of them, so that's pretty cool. Let's see. But I played against a lot of Brave, man. It's like, let me see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I played against 13 Brave in the last week. It's so prevalent now. Like so many people are playing Brave, man. And it's just like everyone's on that stupid dang on. Well, honestly, it's like the one I really don't like is Brave Prank Kids. Like that's the one that just be messing me up. Um, yeah, I played against Brave Prank Kids the most, but I've seen a lot more people playing like the Brave Tangy deck. But a lot more people are playing like Brave Prank because that one's just like, in my opinion, it's just so much better. The Brave Tangy deck is just like, I don't know. They're both like kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really like. I think they're both definitely tier 1. I will say that. But yeah. I played against some DDD. Live Twins is one that I've seen kind of popping up. I heard that that's gotten a couple of regional tops as well. But it's like the deck's kind of nasty. I mean, but to be expected, every deck that Scythe locks is kind of nasty. But speaking of, like one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about like going second is because like I feel like a lot of people just like don't know what to do when they like can't do like their one linear combo line. So that's why I wanted to talk about like adaptive play and like sequencing your plays and things like that in this video. Because like at the tournament I played at on Saturday, this past Saturday, I actually got Scythe locked in my top 8 match. It was either my top 8 match or the match, like, the last round before top 8. I can't really remember. Like I said, I was, like, really sleepy that event. So I was, like, kind of blurry. I went X2 and got 3rd place, I think I got. Yeah, I lost in top 4 to the guy who won the tournament. It'd be like that sometimes. Yeah, so like I got Scythe blocked by Live Twins, and like I was able to play through it. I was playing Dragon Link that day. And basically I just kind of played big bungus control. I just kind of kept summoning big guys. I had like Red Eyes in hand. I had like Tempest. And basically I just kind of like broke his board by attacking over everything, and then just kind of sat behind big guys and like like hand traps and whatnot. And that's basically what I was doing. And then we just kind of like went into the grind game. And like the grind game is where Tempest is like the best card ever, because that's a big body that I can attack over stuff with, that I can just keep summoning back every single turn over and over again. And then it's just like it comes back to hand as well during the end of their turn. So it's like if I have like Dragon Ravine too, that's just like something that I can just use every single turn to like keep me in the game, and that's what allowed me to win after I got Scythe locked. I feel, now that I'm thinking about it, this probably should have been like its own separate video, just talking about like the meta report. But that's something I want to try to start doing at like the beginning of the week, is talking about like how the last week went. Oh, DDD at the Winamat, bro. Like, so I'm part of a like crew. It's called Team High Society. My crew, so like at the Winamat, it was me and my friend, the guy from my crew. His name's Jose. He is, in my opinion, the best hero player in the world right now. Like he tops like all the time. So if you look up like the last several tops with Hero, like most of them are him. And it's just like we both like got first and second at the Win-A-Mat respectively. I got first place. And so like we were talking about like the last round or whatever, and we were like, he was saying how he wasn't confident in like the DDD matchup because he doesn't really know that matchup. And I was like, don't worry, I'll get matched up against the DDD player, and you'll get matched up against the Dragon Link player, and you just beat the Dragon Link player, and I'll beat the DDD player. And I did get matched up against the DDD player, and like he won the die roll, because obviously he won the die roll. Like I said, I haven't won a die roll like in a while actually. But he was saying how like, oh, I'm gonna just sack him really hard. And let me tell you, man, like he got sacked so hard. I think like I opened like Nib Mourner, and then like combo, and then off of my Nocto draw, I drew Reborn, and then off my Chaos Fade draw, I drew Emperor, and I was just like, geez, bro, like even if I wasn't killing you, you're gonna have to play through like 4 negates. And so I won the Win-A-Mat like as I posted. I sold the mat immediately. I still have the field center, but I sold the mat. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna conclude the tournament report because I've been talking about this for a bit. I don't know how long I've been talking about this. Okay, it's only 10 minutes. That's not too bad. But yeah, let me go ahead and just like kind of get into the next part of the video, which is going to be the thing that I kind of wanted to make this video about, is like, sequencing your plays and like adaptive like play. So I'm going to have like 2 different decks I'm going to do this for. I'm going to have like, the Blue Eyes combo deck and the Dragon Link as well, because one of the things that like very regularly happens to me is that I have to play through like multiple interruptions and I still win the game anyway. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about like the 2 different like variable 2-card combos for Blue Eyes combo, and like why the sequencing matters. So I'll just kind of talk about the implications of what happens depending on if they have like a hand trap here, right? So like we're going to talk about Sage Dictator because like this is like really strong. But so let's say I start the combo with normal summon Sage with Eyes of Blue, right? I'm pretty much always going to start the combo there. So we go normal Sage with Eyes of Blue, we're going to activate the effect, right? So this is what I mean by like adaptive play lines and things like that. If I have a Blue Eyes card in my hand already, I'm going to search Effect Veiler here, which means that if this goes through, I have an interruption for my opponent's turn, regardless of what happens here. If they ash me, then that's 1 card out of their hand, so that means they're going to have less cards to play with on their turn. So instead of having 6 cards to play through my board, they only have 5 cards to play through my board. And the main thing in Blue Eyes combo is that you want to set up Baron de Fleur, because Baron de Fleur is interruption plus follow-up, right? So this is like one of the reasons why it's important to sequence the play like in this manner, because like if I have like Mausoleum, any level 1 light tuner means I still get How Baron blah 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 blah, right? So let's say they stop this so I don't get the Veiler, right? Let's say I have let's go with like Dictator effect or something like that, right? And we're gonna just send this to grave and special the Dictator here. Now obviously there's going to be like 2 different combos. That's why I have the Mausoleum White, so I can just kind of showcase like interactive play between both combos. I'm just going to show this one first. So like if I have a Blue Eyes card in hand, which isn't really that hard because you're playing Blue Eyes, I activate, the next thing I'm going to do is activate the Dictator here. I would pitch and special a Blue Eyes White Dragon, right? The reason why it's important to sequence the play this way is now that, again, you want to make it so that like regardless of if they stop you or not, you're going to be able to get to your plays, right? So like let's say they stop this and they stop this, right? Right, so this is still in the grave, right? So let's say they stop both of those. You wouldn't have this Blue Eyes White Dragon on board, right? But here's the thing. you'll notice I have 2 monsters, including a tuner on board. So I'm going to be able to get to a Halki Fibrax here. And, you know, that's going to special a Stone of Ancients, right? Where is the Stone of Ancients? So I'm going to special a Stone of Ancients here. What this effectively does is now, you know, I can make the Spirit Dragon, and then in the end phase I summon the Abyss Dragon, and blah, 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 blah. But let's say they stopped the Halki Fibrax here. Because I sequenced it with Dictator, I have Baron de Fleur anyway, even if this Halki Fibrax got stopped, because I can tag on to Formula on the next turn, draw a card, potentially draw a hand trap, and then sync off into a Baron de Fleur. So it's like, even though they stopped, like, you know, they had 2 hand traps, I still was able to make the Baron de Fleur, you know? And let's say, you know, they stopped this, and the Hulk went through, I would just make the Link Karibo, and then the Stone of Ancients specials a Blue Eye, so I still have the Baron de Fleur. If they, you know, the Sage went through, I have a Veiler, so it's just like, because of the way I'm sequencing my plays, there isn't like a specific choke point that prevents me from getting to the Baron de Fleur, you know? Because if they stop the Sage, I still get the Dictator and make the Hulk. Another thing that, so like rewinding a bit, right? Rewinding, going back, right? So let's say, so this is still on the deck, right? So at the point where I'm activating the Dictator effect, right? So because it sends this Blue Eyes White Dragon for cost, what happens if they have Gamma here, right? So if they Gamma the Dictator and I have Jet in hand, because Blue Eyes is in hand, the Jet will, I mean, Blue Eyes is engraved, the Jet will actually trigger, and I can special the Jet, and then I have 2 monsters, including a tuner, so I can go ahead and make that Halki Fibrax, special that Stone, and then special another Blue Eyes, make Baron de Fleur on the opponent's turn, you know? It's one of those things where it's just like, because of the sequencing of the play, regardless of if they hand trap you or not, you are going to be able to get to that Baron de Fleur. And if they do hand trap you, that's 1 less card you have to worry about coming from their hand, and you will have access to your interruption plus follow-up. If this combo goes uninterrupted, though, you have, like, you know, a bunch of interruptions and things like that, right? Because uninterrupted, you know, you get the Veiler off the Sage, you get the Blue Eyes, you get the Hulk, you get the Spirit Dragon, and then you have the Hulk Spirit Dragon end board, which is, you know, at least 3 interruptions, you know? So it's like you have the Hulk and the Abyss Dragon, you can, you know, you search off the Abyss Dragon, you can go into the Baron de Fleur, right? Or you can, like, you know, you adapt based on, like, what the, I don't know what happened there. You adapt based off of, did I click something? That was weird. That was very, very weird. But you adapt based off of what you see your opponent doing, basically, right? If your opponent is, what the, I just got logged out of Discord. Why did I just get logged out of Discord? That's very weird. Why did I get logged out of Discord? Very concerned. What the? That's concerning. I can't log back into Discord. That's concerning. What the? That's very concerning. I'm gonna see what's going on with that. Anyway, that was really weird. I don't know what's going on with that. I'll look into that in a second. But, where was I? But yeah, regardless of, like, whether they hand trap you or not, like, because of the ways that I'm sequencing the plays, it constantly creates scenarios where it doesn't matter if they have the hand trap there, because I'm still going to be able to get to like my play lines and things like that. Because another thing about it, like let's say they have like nib and they save it for like the end of the turn or something like that, right? If they nib me at the end of the turn, then I still have that Veiler that I searched, and I'm still going to summon up Blue Eyes in the end phase off of the stone effect. Um, yeah, but that's that. Let's do the same combo line, but like add the Mausoleum of White into the mix, right? So let's add the Maiden with Eyes of Blue, right? And kind of talk about like similar lines of play and things like that, right? So actually, I'm gonna just pause the recording real quick and go see what's going on with Discord. Alrighty, that little hiccup's been addressed. Two-factor authentication has been taken care of as well. Yeah. Moving on. Where was I? So basically, going into the same like sequencing type of thing, right? So we, normal the maiden, mausoleum, target maiden. Do they ash the mausoleum here? If they ash the mausoleum, then you don't get to activate the maiden unless you have another way to target the maiden, but Sage actually has a second effect, so you can actually just target the maiden with Sage's in hand effect. You can target it with Master's graveyard effect. There's a couple of different ways that you can actually target the maiden. So let's say they do that. The only thing you wouldn't get here is that you wouldn't be able to get this Blue Eyes sent to grave and the special, but Dictator kind of does the same thing. And then if you have like another method of targeting the maiden, you just kind of do the same thing. Because the thing about this setup is that it doesn't actually matter like if the maiden stays on the board, because you're just linking these two monsters off for Hulk anyway. And if you have to use Sage's effect to target the maiden to get like a Blue Eyes on board, and like chain the maiden, you'll have two Blue Eyes on board. You'll still be able to make the Hulk because you can just use a Blue Eyes and a Sage to make Hulk instead of using Sage and a maiden to make Hulk. It doesn't really matter which one you do. So like the same kind of sequencing happens, and then in a similar manner, if they stop the Hulk because that Blue Eyes is on the board, it doesn't actually matter if the Hulk goes through or not. You're still going to be able to access the Baron de Fleur, because you sequence your plays in a way where you're constantly like putting threats on the board, right? You're constantly putting threats to your opponent on the board. You're creating a scenario where it doesn't really matter if they hand trap you or not, because you can just like kind of keep playing it like depending on the game state. Obviously, you're not going to like draw like extenders every single game, and like sometimes your opponent will have like the hand traps in the right sequencing and blah 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 blah. But just in general, like the idea of sequencing your plays in a way where if they stop this, you still have a follow-up play just by nature of how the play is structured, just by nature of the way this play is structured right here, this whole setup of Mausoleum, Sage, Maiden, regardless of if they stop the Maiden or not, you're going to be able to make Hulk. And if they choose not to stop the Maiden and they decide to stop the Hulk, regardless of if they stop the Hulk or not, you're going to have Baron de Fleur, So it's just sequencing your plays in a way where, regardless of if they stop it or not, the play naturally has a backup plan built into the play. Yeah, I did say I wanted to talk about this not just from Blue Eyes but also from Dragon Link as well. So I'm gonna pull that up real quick, and then we're gonna kind of talk about that as well. So give me a second. XSplit always iffy. Pause. Alrighty, so moving on to like Dragon Link. In a similar manner when discussing like the importance of sequencing plays and a way where your opponent is kind of like stuck between a rock and a hard place, right? So obviously like the best starters in the deck are like starting with Safer, pitching a 7, and Chaos Space, right? So chaos space, pitching, nib, right? So we pick up the. I pitch. I pitch a light, right? So I gotta pick up a dark. Pick up a dark. Pick up a dark. Pick up a dark. I hate dueling book because I can never find my cards. So you pick up a collapse serpent, right? So the thing about this is that like with Dragon Link, there's a very huge incentive not to hit anything until there is a monster on my board. Because if you don't, you run the risk of getting hard punished by Cyframe Gear Gamma in a way where not only did you not stop their hand trap, but you gave them more resources. So most good players are going to wait till you put a monster aboard and then start hand trapping you there. But if they don't wait, then again they run that risk of getting punished by Gamma. So yeah, so it's like if they have like the Lancia here or the Droll here, they typically would want to wait, But then, we special this, right? We banish the nib here, right? So now the first instance happens here, right? So one of the things about this deck is that it's really, really good at just chain blocking everything. So it's like, chain link 1, chain link 2, chain link 3, Nocto, right? So it's like they're in a scenario where the only way for them to actually interact with anything in this chain is if they like Gamma the Noctivision or they like Valor the Striker Dragon, right? Those are the only real ways for them to interact with this chain link. But the thing about it is that like if they do that, you have follow-up built into the combo structure because of the way you sequenced it. The thing about this interaction is that like regardless of what happens, I haven't used my normal summon, so I'll be able to normal summon after this. Regardless of what happens, like regardless of what they stop, I will have 2 monsters to continue playing. So special add the boot, add the baby dragon, right? Regardless of what happens, you're going to be able to keep playing because they're not going to be able to like stop all of it. Or like even if they do, so like let's say they have Valor and Gamma. They've used 2 hand traps out of their hand, right? Well, now you're in a situation where like even if you don't have like the boot and the Noctivision, you're still going to get this White Dragon Wyvern version and be able to keep playing that way, right? Right. So regardless of what happens, you're going to be able to chain block a Romulus to search the Dragon Ravine and blah 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 blah, right? So that's what this sets up. Now we can go ahead and link these 2 off for a Dragoon Romulus, and you can sequence it chain link 1 Romulus, chain link 2 Noctivision. So the Noctivision is chain blocking the Romulus so that they can't ash the Romulus. And again, if they have Valor, regardless of what happens, you're going to get more card advantage. You're going to draw a card here. If they don't interact with either of these things, you're going to, actually wait, I was supposed to draw first. You're going to draw a card and then search a ravine, right? So regarding, you have those, pluses that you're making. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to special summon this White Dragon Wyvern Burster. Now, one of the mistakes I see people make when they're playing combo decks is that they like activate stuff that they don't need to yet. Typically, when you're playing a combo deck, you want to go as far as you can with individual cards before you start actually using other cards, right? So the thing is, in this entire sequence, I would still have the 2 extra cards in my hand that I started my turn with. The reality is that, like, in addition to, like, all these cards I'm going to draw, I also have those 2 unknown cards that my opponent has to worry about as well. Because at one of the tournaments I entered, my opponent hit me with, like, 4 hand traps, and, like, I played through them because of my sequencing. So we're going to put this back onto the bottom of the deck, and we're going to draw another card. And going back to like the different sequencing and like talking about like the why like you're able to like set stuff up like this, because let's put it like this: if they stopped the Striker Dragon, I might have quick launch. if they stopped me from getting to Ravine, I might already have a rocket in hand, you know? So it's like it creates that scenario where it's like, even if you stop something, because of the way it's sequenced, I have, like, not only do I have a follow-up play naturally built into it, but it's very likely that I'll be able to just play through the hand trap because of the way the deck is sequenced. So, like, next thing I would typically do here is make the hieratic seal, right? So make the hieratic seal, trigger this baby dragon, and pick up another, the other baby dragon. I hate dueling book. Add this to hand, right? Add that to hand. Now, I want to point out that, again, I have not used those 2 cards that I started my turn with. So at this point, I've gotten to the hieratic seal, and I have 6 cards in hand. So that's one of the things that naturally makes it so easy for, you to play through hand traps, is that, like, you constantly create scenarios where your opponent, like, kind of has to hand trap you here. Now, continuing the sequencing here, getting the Dragon Ravine, pitching this free discard that we have, right, to then send the Apsa Router, and then add a Rocket Synchron to hand, right? Now, typically you add Tracer here, but here's the reason why I'm adding the Synchron here. If you'll remember, I haven't used my normal summon. If I have quick launch here, I don't even need to activate the boot and lose the boot. I can actually just quick launch a Tracer onto the board and play from there. So that's actually what I'm going to do, is I'm going to quick launch, and I'm going to get a Tracer. Okay? Now, you're going to Tracer, target this Ravine, pop the Ravine, and you're going to special the Recharger here. Now, the thing is, most good players are not going to stop this effect because they want that to resolve. They want you to lock yourself into dark because that reduces the amount of potential follow-up plays you have. I have not gotten to, like, go from here in a hot minute because I almost always get nibbed right here. But again, pay attention to the importance of the sequencing here. If they stop me from going into Chaos Ruler here, they're going to nib me here. That's usually what happens. And they're going to give me that token right here. Now, another thing about the sequencing here is that they want to give you the token in defense position. They almost always give you the token in defense position, but the token has 3,100 defense because of the recharger. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind. And then you go Seal Effect Engrave. Again, the extender is built into the combo structure. Even if they hand trap you here, you just kind of keep playing. Depending on the game state, you're going to either summon like Brotar, get a Search. You summon, a Seifert maybe. You might summon a Tempest. You summon whatever you need. You might summon a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You might summon a Chamber and get a Tidying. It's just depending on like what you have in the situation. But typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to special summon Albaz. I'm going to activate that effect. I'm going to pitch. Right, and remember, you still have those 2 cards you would have had, right? So you're going to pitch, going to go Fallen of Albaz, super poly away their Nib. You're going to get your Albion, which is then going to summon your Furious, right? Typically, and remember, you already have like the setup for it built into the combo. So we're going to go ahead and banish, 2 Dark Dragons, doesn't really matter which ones. And we're going to make that Furious, right? So here's the thing. Regardless of what happens, I have my interruptions that I can still make built into the combo because of the combo structure. And, because I didn't use my normal summon, even though they stopped me from making the Chaos Ruler, I just go normal summon Rocket Synchron. I hate Dueling Book. And then special summon this Apsa Router. I sync the 2 off, and I make my... Come on, Dueling Book, bro. Yeah, we special summon our Apsa Router. And again, because again, we have that Nocto, even if they stopped us from getting to the Apsa Router, or like they DD crowed the Apsa Router or something like that, I can just, special summon the Noctivision instead, right? So it's just like, it creates like, those varying situations. At the tournament, my opponent did DD crow the Apsa Router here, but I just special summoned Tempest and like just kind of kept it going. And basically from there, being able to go, I'll sync the 2 off, and make Chaos Ruler here anyway. You know, make that Chaos Ruler, and you know, get your plays. Oh wait, hold up, mill 5. Right, get your plays, and then, and this was actually a pretty bad mill because I milled 3 spells, but I'll go ahead and add this Nibiru to my hand, and then, you know, regardless of what I do, I can actually just kind of overlay the Chaos Ruler and the Albion for a Zombie Stein and extend further, right? Or, you know, if I want to play it safe, I can actually just kind of go ahead. I can actually just go ahead and make, right? Because, like, let's say I want more extension or something like that. I can either go into the zombie vampire directly here and, like, you know, potentially extend even further. If I don't have an idea of what my opponent's playing, sometimes I will do this because I want to get an idea of what they're playing. So detach this, and then, you know, mill another 4. This is very greedy, by the way, but keep in mind we still have those 2 cards. Yeah, we still have those 2 cards. So, we didn't actually mill, you know, what we wanted here. But, like, if we have, you know, access to, like, a way to put Levy in the grave, we can add back the Levy and, you know, extend further, but blah, 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 blah. But, the main thing here is that, like, you have Nib, you have this Furious Dragon, and if you didn't want to, like, make this play, because, you know, sometimes I can mill, like, Celestial pieces, like, you know, DPE pieces or Dragoon pieces off of this effect, and, you know, I get that information from my opponent, and regardless of what this does, I still have Borlo, Furious Dragon plus Nib, and, you know, if I hit Levy here, I'd also be able to, like, you know, do the hand loop and things like that. So, like, let's say, I don't know, this was a Levy, I'd add back the Levy. I'm just going to do that, actually, so I can just kind of showcase, like, how the lines of play are structured and things like that. So let's say, you know, we do that, banish that, add the Levy, we get to special the Levy. This also forces out interruptions as well because, like, you know, they have to play the whole use it or risk losing it thing. So we're going to go banish, banish, and banish, right? Banish 3 darks, Levy, hand loop, and then we Chaos Ruler, banish a light and a dark, banish, and we'll banish the sync. Actually, no, we'll banish. Yeah, we'll banish the synchron, right? We'll banish the synchron, special back the Emperor, not the Emperor, the ruler, right? And then we can overlay these 2 into a zombie, not zombie vampire, zombie Stein. And keep in mind, again, we still have those extra 2 cards in hand. So it's like, if they, you know, hand trap you, you typically will just, you know, use one of your other cards to keep playing. But because of the way the combo is sequenced, it's like just really hard to stop you from being able to do anything. And every time they hand trap you, that's just another card that's just one less card that they have to actually, like, use to play against you. Being able to, like, have, like, Levianeer, hand loop, and things like that. So it's like very often I do put my opponent in a situation where, yeah, you hand trap me 3 times, but I've got 2, 3 interruptions, and you've got less cards than that, so you're losing the game anyway. So, yeah, that's just something I wanted to kind of talk about in regards to, like, sequencing plays and things like that, blah, 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 blah. But, just a quick disclaimer, one of the things I do want to, like, mention is, when I make these videos, I always want to make this disclaimer. The purpose of this video isn't to say, copy the deck list that you see me playing in the video. The purpose of this video is to say, follow, like, actually, like, listen to the things I'm saying about, like, sequencing and things like that. Like, pay attention to the actual, like, topic that I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm going to have, like, links in the video to, like, deck profiles and things like that, and, like, my other deck builder videos and, like, the, like, lecture videos. But yeah, like, I've been playing Dragon Link, I've been playing Blue Eyes, I've been playing Eldritch, I played the Chaos Max OTK, that deck was really fun. I'm gonna make a video, like, make more videos talking about, like, different stuff, but it's just, like, I don't know, I just don't like uploading deck profiles if, like, the only difference is, like, the hand traps I'm playing or something like that, you know? But that's going to be it for this one. This has been Darkslayer Arim from Haltesia Gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.